What is up, guys? I'm Tyler. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be hopping on a flight heading to Oahu. So we're going to do some spearfishing and have some fun. So let's see how this goes.
When we jumped in, we were greeted with visibility that was not very good, but I got my Hybrid 75 and we're gonna load this thing up and see if we can't get some fish. Most of the time when I'm in Hawaii, I target invasives and we'll see how this goes. And right when I get in, get loaded, I see a tawau off in the distance and take a bit of a longer shot here. And I do not connect, but that's just the name of the game sometimes. Gotta start out, gotta miss a couple shots. But the first shot there, absolutely whiffed. But you can see the viz was less than 10. It was probably about 15 feet. Taking another drop here down to this ledge. It was the deeper you got, the worse the visibility got. So I was kind of hanging out on the ledge, just looking for stuff down below. And I see some tawau and some other reef fish off in the distance making the passes. And I line up, and I'm hoping to take another tawau off this reef. But I'm just looking, taking my time here, and then one swims in right there, and I get a decent shot on a small invasive species here. These guys get a lot bigger than this, but it is what it is. It's not bad to take these invasives off because they just are killing a bunch of the native species. So there we go, a little snapper right there. Again, up in the shallows here, just crawling over the rocks, looking into these cracks, hoping a decent fish swims by. And we're seeing a lot of reef fish, some parrotfish, and a lot of tawau, as well as a ton of pufferfish and turtles in this area. But we're just looking around here for something to maybe cook up as a little lunch. But I see a reef fish off in the distance, a pretty good sized one. And I take a little bit of a longer shot here. And I go a little bit under it, still getting used to these longer shots with this Hybrid 75. And there we go. Laying on the ledge right here, I got a school of reef fish out in front of me, and I see a nice goatfish off in the distance. And I shoot a longer shot and just pin this guy to the bottom. This was a smaller goatfish, but still fun to shoot. And again, crawling these rocks, looking for other fish to target. And we're just looking around, trying to spot something decent here. And off in the distance, I see a big fish, and it scares away. And then I see this turtle, and I'm just kind of admiring it, enjoying being in the water that is not freezing like it is in California. And then we actually end up having to switch spots here. So we moved to Waikiki to dive with some friends that are going to be traveling to New Zealand with us up in March. So we're going to be doing some three-prong practice, practicing in the shallows. But you can see the conditions here were still not good, and we have to make quite a bit of a hard swim to get out of this surf zone. So when you look up here, we have to swim out between these jetties, and we have Tracy here who's only about 9 years old going with us. So getting out of these jetties was not extremely easy for us. The waves are pretty big, and it made it a little bit more difficult. And you'll see right here, this is what we're having to deal with. Not giant waves, but the GoPro makes it look a lot smaller than it actually was. Some of these guys are crashing pretty big on these jetties.
They will follow.
See, there's another one right there. And we're just crawling, hoping not to get a sea urchin in the knee here.
You're good, Seth. That wasn't bad.
So Tracy and Seth are training for Worlds, and they're running the three prongs, looking for kole, manini, goatfish, anything they can get down there. And Seth is rocking like a 5-foot pole spear. Tracy's got a 9-foot ski prong, and she was crushing it. But I was running Seth's Ocean Ammo Hybrid 100, and a live swam by. And I was able to get a decent shot on these guys. I've never eaten one, but Ken and Tracy were happily taking these fish. So got a decent lie right there, and a new fish species for me. And I'm taking another drop. I was having a lot of sinus issues on this trip, so it was hard for me to go super deep. But I see a papio, and I sneak up on this guy, and I end up landing a decent papio right in front of Waikiki, which was super sweet. Look, I'm maybe diving 10 feet, if that, but I land one of my favorite fish on Hawaii, a bluefin trevally. And this wasn't a big one, but definitely legal and fun size. Super stoked on that guy. All right, taking another drop on the edge of the rocks here. And I'm starting to be able to push a little deeper. My sinuses are loosening up as we keep going. But I got the 3-prong out, and I see a manini right there. And I'm kind of working with the 5-foot prong, and I get a decent shot on a manini. Good pan fry fish. And this will be a good one for them to cook up when they get home.
Manini, what'd you get?
And this is crazy visibility for Hawaii. Like, you can't see the bottom, and we're up pretty shallow. It was probably 20 to 30 mile an hour winds most days that we were here. But just swimming along the rocks here, scanning around, hoping something nice swims by. I've found that, at least in California, sometimes the best dive days are the worst visibility days. But I see a veke off in the distance there, and I take a longer shot. A little bit of overkill with this gun, but good snipe practice right there, because that was a small target for this gun and a beautiful rainbow right there. I'm pulling him up. This was a decent size one. Nice little goatfish right there. And just a fun fish and a fun shot with that Hybris 100. Taking another drop out here and just looking around, seeing what I can see in this area, and not a ton of life here. The coral wasn't too great, but if we found a coral head or a ledge, you were able to find some stuff to shoot at. So I'm swimming across here, just looking around. My head movements are probably a little bit too erratic, but I'm just looking for stuff and did not see anything on that drop. All right, taking another drop here. Still working on the sinuses, trying to loosen them up. Just looking around, trying to see if I can spot any of the target species in this area. I'm looking again, a bunch of reef fish working down below. And I see something there, but nothing worth taking a shot at. After Seth got that papio, he handed me back the 3-prong and was gonna go hunt for some omilu. So I'm dropping down with the 3-prong here and just looking around for any pan fry fish. And I see a couple veke off in the distance, and I'm gonna try my luck at one of these guys. And I absolutely smack the rock with this thing. And keep swimming here, seeing if I can reload, maybe find something else, but go up, catch a breath, do it again. All right, loading back up, got the gun again. My turn to see if I can find something else. We're swimming around, just not seeing a whole lot, but a bunch of reef fish there, and just looking around at them, seeing if anything bigger swims by. And I see a little squirrel fish off in the distance. And I've been told if it's red, it's probably good eating. So I take a shot on this guy, and heard they're not super great, but for where we're diving, I will take it. So there we go, little squirrel fish, nice red one right there. He's tiny, but fish is a fish. Taking another drop here and trying to work this crack, see a veke there in the side, and a bunch of other reef fish working. Wish it was a little more clear so we could go out deeper. There is a bunch of goatfish there. I'm gonna take a bit of a longer shot there, and I hit just in front of that goatfish. Not my best moment. Taking another drop out here. Just looking at a bunch of different fish here. That's the nice thing about Hawaii, is there's just so much variety. We're just looking around, seeing a bunch of stuff, but End up taking a shot on, it looks like a veke off in the distance there, and absolutely whiffed that guy. And taking another drop out here. And a lot of times when I'm diving, it's not always just about blasting a bunch of fish. Sometimes we're just looking around, honestly kind of just snorkeling. So swimming around here, looking around at all these reef fish, trying to crawl and hope something really nice swims by. Don't see anything, so I'm just gonna head back up, catch my breath, and do it all again. Heading back down again, and like I said, we're just kind of swimming around. A ton of life here. I wish there were more kole in this area, but we're just looking around, enjoying these cracks. Huge schools of goatfish swimming by, and the kids were having fun trying to blast these things with the pole spears, but they were struggling to land one. But there was a bunch of those, and just can't imagine diving somewhere more beautiful than Hawaii. And here I am taking a drop on this giant school of veke. Like, look at that. There's got to be 1,000 of them. Not looking to shoot any of them. These were smaller ones, but there was just a ton of them moving around, and we're just swimming through these schools of amazing fish. Just glad we were able to get to the island and just put some work in, have some fun, and practice diving in an area that we haven't got to dive much. It's starting to get a little darker, which makes this bad visibility even worse. So we're diving another crack and just looking around, hoping to see something come out of one of these holes. A bunch of fish in this crack, but nothing that I feel like is worth taking. Just kind of moving up and down this crack here, and I get close, but there just wasn't anything there that was really worth my time. Could have been a little crazy swim through right there if I really wanted to be ambitious, but probably not the best idea in board shorts. Taking one of my last drops here before we head in. We had to get back because it was a school day and Tracy had school the next day, but we're just looking around trying to find a fish, and I take a shot on a decent sized veke. It was more of an unloading shot right there, but missed it. And at the end of the day, this was my little pile with the gear that we were using, and had a blast out there diving with some friends.
All right, we had an amazing time on Oahu. Didn't have great visibility, but did get to shoot some fish. Got the ocean ammo guns out there, and we had a blast targeting papio and a bunch of other stuff in the shallows because the conditions weren't good. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe.